Okay, so good morning, everybody. This is John. I wanted to share with you some things about how we can handle anxiety. Now, in today's world, my hands are clean, I can touch my face. Um, if How in the world do we deal with these extra anxieties? And I deal a lot with anxiety disorders and with post-traumatic stress disorder and with depression cases, a great many of them. And so, since everything's moved to telehealth, I'm seeing all my clients, and I've been thankful and fortunate that all my clients have gone to telehealth with me. Um, One of the issues that they're facing, though, is an increased anxiety. And what are the sources of some of these anxiety things? Well, the primary source is income and how they're going to pay their bills and how they're going to get things, how are they going to survive? And financial strain is a huge stressor on an individual, period, but it's even bigger when there's a family or a marriage involved. And so there's a lot of anxiety there. But there's also the anxiety of catching it and possibly dying from it, from the COVID 19 disease that comes from the SARS CoV 2 virus. And that this is all uncharted territory. So people who were already in treatment for anxiety or were already suffering from anxiety without treatment are now having exacerbated or enhanced symptoms because of the um, the virus situation and the health crisis. So what do we do um, to help alleviate that anxiety? So, when we're going to talk a little bit about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, wherever possible, on the bottom of the hierarchy of needs for every person and every family is, the basics: food, water, shelter, um, and the basics, health, right? Health. So, when that bottom part becomes unstable, all of the other parts, going all the way up to companionship and acceptance, um, become extremely unstable. In fact, they become less important at the moment than what's below, just making sure that you're eating every day. So, in view of that, there are some things that can be done to help with anxiety right here at home where you are. And we practice this a lot. Now, in counseling, there's a concept that's called mindfulness. And mindfulness is a little bit different than mindlessness. Now, if you're driving your car to work from home, you'll find that sometimes you get to work in the parking lot and you don't really remember the route from home to there. It was automatic. That's mindless driving, right? Or if you're playing Mahjong on a computer and you're just doing these mindless things like we used to do years ago on Tetris, and you spend 4 or 5 hours and don't even realize those 4 or 5 hours have gone. That's mindlessness, right? Your mind is just focusing on one little thing. But mindfulness is an awareness. It's an awareness of the here and now. And the reason that we talk about grounding in the here and now is because if you anxiety is a foot in the future, right? And depression is often a foot in the past. So we become anxious about the future. We're focused on the future, so we're not even paying attention to the present. And if we're worried about the past and things that cause us depression, then we have a foot in the past and we're still not paying attention to the present. And so there's an old saying that if you have a foot in the future and a foot in the past, you're pissing on the present. And that's exactly the truth. We piss away the present, which determines the future, because we're worried about the future instead of thinking about right now that will determine the future. And we tend in depression cases to be fixated on things that happened to us in the past, and we don't pay attention to what's going on now, which is where we fix our problems from the past and make a happier now. We live in the now, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. So, how do we ground ourselves into the present? Well, that's kind of easy, right? Hmm. I'm pretty sure a lot of people heard me say that and they're like, hmm? So there's an exercise that we call mindfulness, and in the counseling and in the counseling psychology fields. And mindfulness is basically placing yourself in the here and now. And one of the reasons why I'm on the back porch this morning is you can hear, if you listen, all the birds. You can hear them chirping. You can feel a breeze, or I can feel a breeze anyway, right? But if you're out in the backyard, you can feel it. It's a cool breeze. So being focused on the here and now is basically some breathing techniques that allow you to bring yourself into the here and now, allow you to pull yourself out of the anxiety so that certain processes in the brain can take place to calm you down, and pulls you out of the depression because you're not fixated on those events in your life. Just for the moment, it brings you right here, right now. So 90% of curing our anxiety and depression is realizing that we live in the moment, not the past or the future. It's an absolute fact. We are always in the moment. The problem is that our brains, our minds aren't focused on the moment. They're not aware of the moment. And this is where a lot of our distress comes from. So what are some of the exercises that we can do? So I would really like for you guys, if you're watching this video, to participate in it with me. Got to clear my throat here. I have allergies too, and the pollen is really great today. So how do we ground ourselves? So one is we take control of our breathing. We make ourselves focus on the moment. The other one is the awareness of it. So there's two ways to experience the here and now. One is that you're actually taking a single object, and when I was learning mindfulness at Wake Forest University, when I was a counseling student, we used a strawberry. And so we would feel the texture of the strawberry and experience and describe it to ourselves, what we were feeling and experiencing. And so we would take that and the tactile sensations that we're feeling, we would describe to ourselves. The aroma, smelling it, listening to it as your fingers run across the external seeds, things like that, and then tasting it, feeling the texture of it in your mouth. So everything you're doing, you're living in the here and now. You're experiencing that thing right now in this moment. That's one way to do it, and it really works, especially if you put chocolate on those strawberries. It's great. But you can do it with other things too. You can do it with an ice cream cone. You can do it with anything that you have. You know, I have a little plastic little squidgy ball that I mess with. I sit there and do that with my squidgy ball when I'm feeling anxious. Or I take a sip of coffee and enjoy the coffee, right? There's an aroma to this coffee. There's a cup in front of you. You can feel the cup. Everything right now is in the here and now. Now, there are other ways to do it too, and it's called, it's a breath control exercise. And so I would like for you to participate in this. If you're watching this video with me, I'm going to talk you through it. But basically, it starts off by taking a deep breath. Now, you can close your eyes, or you can fix your eyes on a point on a wall in front of you, or in my case, there's a bush here. And you can begin by taking one deep breath. You want to go, and you want to hold it for a second. I'm talking, but you want to hold it for a second. Make sure that you're breathing in through your nose when you do this. And then when you exhale, you want to exhale through your mouth slowly. So you want to breathe in deeply, hold it for a second, and then exhale through the mouth. And then do it again. And continue to breathe like that, just going in through the nose and out through the mouth. And while you're doing this, focus on the sensations around you. In this case, if you can hear good on the video, you can hear the birds chirping. You can hear the wind going through the trees. All the while, you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And continue to do this. Now, as you're breathing in and out, you're going to feel some sensations. Your mind may feel a little bit lighter because it's getting more oxygen. Your heart rate may be going down because now it's calming. Continue to breathe in your nose deeply. Hold it for a second and exhale slowly through your mouth. All the while paying attention to the environment around you, listening to the sounds, feeling sensations. And as you're doing this, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, you want to start to imagine some things. So as you're sitting there completely relaxed, you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And at the bottom of your feet, with your eyes closed, you can feel and visualize this small cloud that feels almost like cotton. And it's circulating counterclockwise at the base of your feet. So your bottoms of your feet can feel this. And everything that it touches relaxes. So your feet are now relaxing. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as this cloud begins to move up towards the ankles and the calves, up to the knees, counterclockwise, just slowly moving around and around your calves, you begin to relax. The muscles of the calves, the ankles, the feet are completely relaxed. And you're continuing to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then it begins to move up towards the hips and the upper legs, the calves, the feet, the waist are completely relaxed. Every muscle is just relaxed as you're breathing in through your nose, deeply and slowly, and exhaling through your mouth, slowly. Continue to breathe while you're feeling this sensation and visualizing this sensation of relaxation. Now the cloud is rotating up past your chest, just below the neckline. It's still rotating counterclockwise, and from your neck all the way to your feet, your chest muscles, your upper and lower back muscles, the hips, the upper legs, the knees, the calves, feet are completely relaxed. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as this continues, you want to envision it going up to your head. And now your neck muscles, your shoulder muscles, your muscles of the face and the forehead, the base of the head and the back are all relaxed. The shoulders are relaxed, your chest is relaxed. The upper back and lumbar lower back are relaxed. Your stomach muscles are relaxed. Let them all just relax. The legs, the feet, everything is being massaged by this cotton-like cloud rotating around you. Now imagine that this cloud stops rotating and now has become a seat. And you are now elevating up above where you were sitting. Continue to breathe in your nose and out your mouth. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Your entire body is relaxed. Every muscle is relaxed. And you're raising up higher and higher, and you're through the roof, almost like a spirit. And now you're looking down upon your house or your office as if you were hovering. And now, while you're breathing in through your nose and out your mouth, you continue to move. But this time, the cloud takes you to a place where you consider blissful. It could be a field of flowers. It could be a river flowing. It could be in a rocky mountain with some breeze and winds. It could be in a pasture with birds and things chirping in the background. You're continuing to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And from your head to your toes, every muscle relaxes in a wave from your head down to your feet. Everything is relaxed. And as you land in this field, you begin to walk around, and you're barefoot. And so you can feel the grass or the rock or the material under your feet with every step. Every step you can feel with hypersensitivity the sensations of the grass. You can smell the flowers in the field and the air. You can feel the breeze on your face. And all the while, you're very relaxed. Relaxed to a point where you're almost floating through this environment that you're in. And you take time to pick a flower while you're breathing, focusing on breathing too, breathing in through your nose, deeply, slowly, holding it for a second, and exhaling slowly. Now the cloud returns and you sit back into your cloud. The cloud goes back up and begins to return to where you came. Now you can see yourself above the building, looking around, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then you begin to descend back, down, down through the building into your chair or couch where you were at. And the cloud begins to rotate counterclockwise again and begins to move from your head to your shoulders. All the while, everything it touches as it goes is completely relaxed. And then it goes down to the waist, Everything from the head to the waist is completely relaxed. It goes down to the knees. Everything from the knees to your head is relaxed. Your stomach muscles are relaxed. Your back muscles are relaxed. Your chest muscles, your neck, base of your head, your forehead, and facial muscles are all relaxed. Now it goes down to the feet and is just swirling at the bottom of your feet counterclockwise. And you can feel the sensation on the bottom of your feet. Now it dissipates and goes away, and you're still breathing in through your nose and out your mouth, deeply, slowly. And then you want to open your eyes slowly. Take a minute to look around just with your eyes and enjoy the moment that you're in right now. Now sit up, look around. How do you feel? Has this allowed you to relax some? Now, with anxiety, and I would suggest you do this exercise, this is a longer version of it. You can do a shorter version of it where you just simply do the breathing and you're in the here and now and experiencing what's in the room with you. That one is what I call astral projection mindfulness because it allows you to actually free your mind of the thoughts that are going on, because now you're focusing on the visualization rather than just the physical and the five senses input to your mind. So this is one way that is very successful. I help a lot of people treat their anxiety through this very exercise, and through the short version and through the long version. Now, if you found your mind wandering when you were first doing this, don't worry. That's normal. When you're first learning this process, your mind will wander sometimes. We kind of call that the monkey mind. You kind of just, it's like a monkey running loose in your mind, and all these little thoughts just all over the place. When you find yourself wandering, come back to your breathing. Come back to controlling the breathing, and then go back to the visualization if you're using a visualization in your exercise. So, to wander is okay. It takes some time before it gets really, really, really able to do it without the little monkey of thoughts running around. It happens. That's the whole purpose of it, is to allow you to gradually take control of your anxious thought patterns. Another thing is that when we're suffering from anxiety, we tend to have an epinephrine surge in our minds, which is basically adrenaline. It's the same thing. And that causes us to get ready for the fight or flight, fight, freeze, or flight response to a possible threat. And sometimes in anxiety, our brain is sensing a threat that really isn't there. So our logical part of the brain, the neocortex, is going, whoa, wait a minute, there's nothing here, there's nothing wrong. But the amygdala and that little chain there is going, oh yeah, there's something here. And so it tells the adrenal glands, which are two little glands over the kidneys, to release epinephrine, and you get flooded with this. And this is where the heart rate goes up, the panicky feeling takes place, the hypervigilance is going on. All of these things, the panic attacks, are really from a huge surge of adrenaline that takes place. And there's another chemical that's released in the brain that's called norepinephrine. And norepinephrine is kind of like the anti-epinephrine. When it stabilizes, it takes that high level of adrenaline and starts bringing it down and making everything nice and level. So an example of that would be if you're in a near car wreck and you're like, oh my God, and you have this fear and your heart's pumping and everything, and the entire threat system has activated, right? Fight, freeze, or flight, right? So obviously in a near wreck, you're wanting to get the hell out of there. So there's the flight part, right? So, but it takes a few minutes for all of that to calm down. Now, with anxiety clients, for people who are suffering from generalized anxiety disorder, panic attack, or PTSD, it takes a longer time to come down from that because they're not producing adequate amounts of norepinephrine, or there isn't enough in the synaptic gap in all of these neuronal connections to allow for a very quick recovery from the threat response. And so what happens when you're doing this exercise is that you are allowing your mind to trigger the production of norepinephrine, which calms you down faster from the anxiety attack. So I hope, this is my longest video, but I'm hoping this has been very helpful to all of you. Try mindfulness exercises. There is also guided mindfulness meditation that you can get CDs or whatever of, where they walk you through it, just like I was doing. I can tell you that stick to it. When you first start, it'll be a little uncomfortable. You're kind of thinking, well, this is odd. But it does work. And so if you have any comments, please leave the comments right here on the post, or you can send me private messages. This was a response to one of those questions where they said, well, what do I do to control my anxiety? Well, this is one of those things you can do where you don't have to pop a pill. Um, so give me some feedback. I'd like to hear from you, and I hope this really helps. Try it out and see how well this works to bring down your anxiety conditions. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.